Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in every person's life when you must stop looking in the rearview mirror and start focusing on the road ahead. Too many of us are trapped, not by others, not by circumstance, but by our own memories. We replay our mistakes over and over like a broken record, convincing ourselves that we are not worthy of another chance. But hear me clearly. You are not your past. You are not the decisions you made when you didn't know any better. You are not the pain that someone else caused you. You are a work in progress, unfinished, evolving, and becoming. We've all made choices we regret. We've all said things, done things, and thought things we wish we could take back. But life is not meant to be lived in reverse. Life is a forward motion, a constant unfolding of new beginnings. And that next beginning starts the very moment you decide to forgive yourself. Some of you have been carrying guilt for years. You smile on the outside, but deep down you're still punishing yourself. You've imprisoned your spirit behind the bars of what if and if only. My friend, guilt is a heavy backpack, and the longer you carry it, the weaker your future becomes. Let me tell you something powerful. Forgiveness is not approval. You're not saying what happened was okay. You're saying, I refuse to let my past define my peace. When you forgive yourself, you take back your power. You reclaim your energy. You open the door to healing. Understand this. Your mistakes were lessons, not life sentences. Every failure taught you something. Every heartbreak revealed something about your strength. Every setback was preparing you for a greater comeback. But you cannot step into that comeback if you're still anchored to yesterday. You've got to release it. Release the shame. Release the guilt. Release the weight that's been holding your heart hostage. Because the truth is, you can't move forward if you're still dragging your past behind you. Someone needs to hear this today. You deserve peace. You deserve happiness. You deserve to love yourself again. You are not damaged. You are developing. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt. There is power in saying, I forgive me. Say it out loud. Feel it. Believe it. Because the moment you do, something inside you begins to shift. The chains of regret begin to loosen. The light inside you begins to shine again. Stop living like you owe your past an apology. You've suffered long enough. It's time to turn your pain into purpose, your wounds into wisdom, and your guilt into growth. You can't rewrite your past, but you can reclaim your future. There comes a moment in life when you must confront the person in the mirror and realize that your reflection is not your history. It's your possibility. Too many people are chained to memories of what they did, what they lost, or how they failed. They carry the weight of regret, like a burden strapped to their back, unable to move freely toward the future that is waiting for them. But your past is not your identity. It's your education. It's the soil in which your strength has been planted. Every experience you've lived through, the good, the bad, and the painful, has shaped you. But it does not have to define you. You may have stumbled, fallen, made decisions that hurt yourself or others, but those moments were lessons designed to teach you something about resilience, courage, and growth. You can't grow stronger without resistance. You can't learn compassion without understanding pain. You can't know freedom without first understanding what it feels like to be trapped. You see, your past is a classroom, not a prison. Every mistake was a lesson plan. Every heartbreak was a test of endurance. Every disappointment was a reminder that even when life knocks you down, you have the power to get back up. Some of you have been living as prisoners of your past, replaying the same story over and over again, saying, if only I had done this differently. If only I'd said that instead. But if only can't change anything. Next time, can. You have to give yourself permission to evolve. You have to allow yourself to grow beyond who you were. The person you were 5 years ago, even 5 months ago, was doing the best they could with the awareness they had at that time. You're wiser now. You've seen more. You've learned. You've felt the pain, and that pain has purpose. It's carving you into someone capable of greater things. The past will always whisper. It will remind you of your flaws, your failures, your fears. It will tell you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not deserving enough. But those are echoes, old recordings that don't belong in your future. When you keep replaying those old stories, you reinforce the belief that who you were is who you'll always be. But your potential is not a reflection of your history. It's a reflection of your vision, your drive, and your willingness to begin again. It takes courage to start over when your mind tells you you've already failed. It takes faith to believe that your best days are still ahead, when all you can see is the debris of yesterday's mistakes. But growth always begins where guilt ends. The moment you stop defining yourself by what you did wrong and start focusing on what you can do right now, that's when transformation begins. Understand something powerful. Your potential is unlimited. There is no mistake big enough to cancel it. There is no setback strong enough to destroy it. You can rebuild, reinvent, and rediscover yourself as many times as it takes. Life doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be persistent. The only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the belief that you're unworthy because of what you've been through. Stop labeling yourself by your past roles, the failures, the regrets, the missed chances. You are not the same person who made those choices. Every sunrise gives you permission to be someone new. Each day is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you've learned, that you've grown, that you can rise again. Don't waste that opportunity by staring into the rearview mirror when there's an open road ahead. Some of the greatest people in history were born from broken places. They turned pain into purpose, tragedy into triumph, wounds into wisdom. What made them great was not that they had flawless pasts, but that they refused to let their past dictate their potential. They understood that growth doesn't come from staying where you fell. It comes from getting up, wiping off the dust, and moving forward with determination. You've got to tell yourself, I am not my mistakes. I am not my past choices. I am the possibility of who I can become. You can't carry the identity of failure and still walk confidently toward your future. You have to drop it. You have to release it. Because every moment you spend identifying with who you were is a moment stolen from who you could be. Your potential is not waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to take action. It's waiting for you to believe that no matter how dark your past has been, there's still light ahead. There's still something left in you that the world needs. You have gifts, talents, and strengths that were not erased by your mistakes. They're just buried beneath the weight of your own doubt. And when you begin to realize that the power to change is already within you, that's when you stop being a victim of your past and start being the author of your future. You have the ability to rewrite your story. You have the ability to transform pain into purpose. You have the ability to become everything that life tried to convince you you couldn't be. Many people struggle with forgiveness because they believe it means saying what happened was acceptable. They think forgiving someone or themselves means letting go of justice, responsibility, or truth. But forgiveness doesn't mean agreement. It means release. It means freeing yourself from the chains of bitterness, guilt, and resentment that keep your heart locked in the past. When you refuse to forgive, you carry the poison of the past into your present. You replay the pain in your mind over and over again, hoping that by reliving it, you'll somehow change it. But pain doesn't fade through repetition, it deepens. Every time you revisit the hurt, you reopen the wound. Forgiveness is the medicine that allows that wound to heal. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. You see, the person you refuse to forgive often moves on, while you stay stuck in the emotional quicksand of anger and regret. You can't fly toward your destiny while holding the weight of yesterday's pain. You can't embrace peace while clutching the memory of betrayal. Forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. It's how you take your power back. When you choose to forgive, you are saying, I refuse to let what happened continue to control me. You're saying, I am more than my pain. That decision doesn't erase the past. It liberates the future. It gives you permission to feel joy again, to trust again, to breathe again. Forgiveness is the quiet revolution that happens inside your heart when you decide that peace matters more than punishment. Some people think holding on to anger gives them strength, but it's the opposite. It drains you. It steals your sleep, your focus, and your spirit. Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget. It means you no longer allow what happened to define your happiness. It's an act of courage, not surrender. It takes bravery to let go of what broke you and still choose to love yourself enough to move forward. You can't control what others did, but you can control how long you let it haunt you. You can't rewrite the past, but you can decide how the story ends. Every day you hold on to bitterness, you give power to what hurts you. But the moment you forgive, you step into your power. You break free from the emotional prison that was never meant to hold you. Forgiveness is freedom, the kind that doesn't come from apology or revenge, but from choosing your own peace above your pain. When you forgive, you rise above. You become untouchable by the weight of your wounds. Everyone has a chapter in their story they'd rather not read out loud. Times they stumbled, moments they said or did the wrong thing, decisions that took them down painful paths. But what if those very mistakes weren't meant to destroy you? What if they were meant to develop you? What if each failure was actually a lesson dressed in disappointment? Mistakes are not the end of your journey. They are the classroom where your character is built. Every error reveals something about who you are, what you value, and how strong you can become. The problem is not making mistakes. It's staying trapped in the guilt of them. When you see your mistakes as permanent stains, you miss their deeper purpose: to guide, to teach, to sharpen you for what's coming next. Every success story is written in ink made of failure. Behind every confident smile is a person who once doubted themselves, once fell, once failed. But they learned. They refused to be defined by the moments that went wrong. They turned those moments into stepping stones. A life without mistakes is a life without movement. Growth requires trial. Learning requires loss. Every wrong turn you've taken revealed a road you'll never travel again. And that's wisdom. The mistake you regret most may have been the one that taught you to value time, to appreciate truth, or to recognize the people who truly care. You don't have to keep punishing yourself for what you didn't know before you learned it. You can't judge your past self by the awareness of your present self. You did the best you could with what you knew. The lesson now is not to repeat it, it's to rise from it. Mistakes are messages. They whisper, try again. but this time with more wisdom. They remind you that you're still human, still learning, still growing. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is simple. The first group learns, the second group lingers. Choose to learn. Choose to move forward. Your mistakes were never meant to imprison you. They were meant to prepare you. The only real failure is refusing to rise after you fall. Every mistake is a seed of strength, waiting for your understanding to make it grow. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while carrying a backpack filled with rocks. Every step becomes heavier, slower, harder. That's what life feels like when you hold on to the past. You can't step into new opportunities when your hands are full of old pain. You can't see tomorrow clearly when your vision is clouded by yesterday's regrets. Too many people are walking into their future with the baggage of their past. They carry guilt, resentment, broken promises, and unhealed wounds. And then they wonder why progress feels impossible. You can't run toward what's next while dragging what's gone. You have to release it. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means refusing to be controlled by what can't be changed. The past is a story, not a sentence. It happened, it hurt, and it taught you. But it's over. The lesson remains, that the pain doesn't have to. You've got to stop visiting places that broke you, both in memory and in spirit. Every time you return to what hurt you, you're reopening wounds that were trying to heal. The longer you hold on, the heavier it becomes. Eventually, the emotional weight becomes too much to carry, and it crushes your spirit. Freedom comes when you put the past down, when you stop seeking closure from what was never meant to continue, when you stop asking why and start saying what now. You cannot move forward when your heart is anchored to yesterday's pain. The moment you release the past, you create space for the future to enter. Your journey ahead is too important to be slowed down by what's behind you. There are people to meet, dreams to fulfill, and peace to experience. But you can't embrace those blessings until your hands are free from what you've been holding. There's a silent battle many people fight, the battle of self-blame. They smile on the outside, but inside they are constantly judging themselves, criticizing every flaw, and carrying guilt they no longer deserve. They've become their own enemy, punishing themselves for things they can't undo. But self-love begins the moment you realize you are worthy of peace. You've paid enough. You've hurt enough. You've carried the weight of regret long enough. Life was never meant to be a lifelong sentence of self-criticism. You deserve to feel light again. You deserve to wake up and not be haunted by what you can't change. You deserve to look in the mirror and see not your failures, but your fight. The way you kept going when it would have been easier to give up. Peace isn't something you find. It's something you allow. It begins when you decide to stop punishing yourself for being human. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone falls short. Everyone has moments they wish they could redo. But the most beautiful thing you can do is turn compassion inward. Happiness doesn't come from perfection. It comes from acceptance. When you accept who you are, where you've been, and what you've learned, you make room for joy. Self-love isn't arrogance. It's gratitude for survival. It's saying, I've been through storms, but I still choose to shine. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not unworthy. You are unfolding. You deserve to be kind to yourself, to rest, to forgive, to heal. You've carried pain like a badge of honor. Now carry peace like a promise. You are enough, not because you've never fallen, but because you've always risen. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know, for what you couldn't do. for what you wish you could change. Then look forward, because your story isn't over. It's just beginning again, this time written by someone who has finally learned to love themselves. You've got to believe that peace belongs to you. Happiness belongs to you. Love belongs to you. You don't have to earn it. You just have to allow it. Let this be the moment you set yourself free. Let this be the day you stop surviving and start living. Let this be the chapter where you finally say to yourself, I forgive me. I am free.